Now for updates on sports stories across the globe is the beautiful Ebi Iyomon. Good morning, Ebi.
Good morning, Vimbai. Thank you, and good morning, Rufai, and good morning, Dr. Abati. A lot is happening in the world of sports. Yes, and today we'll begin with the Olympics as opposed to the usual Euros. Yesterday in Abuja, we had the sports minister, John Eno, hand over the Olympic athletes to the NOC, that's Nigeria Olympic Committee, and the PCN, the Paralympic Committee of Nigeria. Ahead of the Olympics, we already have some athletes who are in Germany. That's the training camp for the international training camp for the Nigerian Olympic athletes. Now, at that event, we had the minister come out to say that the president has approved the budget for the Olympics, and he says that the welfare of the Olympic athletes will be assured. And still at that event, the unveiling of the kits was done. The kits to be used for the Olympics was revealed. We had jerseys, there were slides, there were luggages and all of that. And reports say that these kits were manufactured in China and not here. So we hope to see Nigeria do better as they charge the athletes to at least get a gold medal to equal or surpass what Nigeria achieved in 1996. And still on the Olympics, we have the Super Falcons stepping up their preparations as 14 players are in the camp and they await 4 more players. Alimatu Ainde is already out due to injury, and the coach, that's Wardrum, is set to announce his replacement. We'll know what that is soon. And for Greece, we had 1 week of Olympic qualifiers in basketball, and we had Greece qualify for the first time since 16 years. Giannis Antetokounmpo led the Greece national basketball team to qualification, and Spain also qualified for the 7th straight time in basketball. There is also Brazil booking their bet after missing out in the last sports, and Puerto Rico also progressed to the Olympics where they will meet up France, there's the United States, there's Canada, Serbia, Germany, all in the basketball for the Olympics. And we'll move away from the Olympics and go to the Euros, where an interesting match we played today. That's between Spain and France. France, who so many have criticized for having an underwhelming Euros. Even if they're in the semi-finals, so many have talked about the fact that they are still yet to get a goal in open play. But the coach, Didier Deschamps, who's been in charge for 12 years now, says that anyone who does not find their matches interesting should not watch it, but they know what they are doing, and they are very sure that they get a victory against Spain, a Spanish side who has been flying on all cylinders, got a very hard match, that quarterfinal game against Germany, and still succeeded by 2-1. Who wins this game? Only time will tell. Is it going to be Lamine Yamal or Mbappe in the finals of these particular Euros? We'll see how that pans out. France is still waiting to win and their first Euros in a while Spain won their last Euros in 2012. And away from the Euros, we go to the Wimbledon, where mouth-watering matches we played today. We have the quarterfinals of the Wimbledon already on, and we'll see Carlos Alcaraz they continue his bid to win the Wimbledon. He was last year's winner, and he's going to take on informed American Tommy Paul. And the other quarterfinals, we see Yannick Sinner and Dani Medvedev have a repeat of the Australian Open final. Now, Yannick Sinner will hope to win his second Grand Slam title, winning the man who he defeated in the Australian Open. Will Dani Medvedev get his revenge, or will Yannick Sinner also get a victory? Djokovic is also into the quarterfinals of the Wimbledon. We'll see if he can defeat Alex de Minaur, and there's Lorenzo Musetti taking on Taylor Fritz. For the women, the quarterfinals has just 2 world number 2s, the top 2s in this particular quarterfinals. But we have the big names out. Swiatek has never even won the Wimbledon. She's out. Osjabo, who was a back-to-back finalist, also got knocked out. We have Sabalenka not even playing because of injury. Now there's Oli Rybakina and Ostapenko as the top 10s in the world. The rest are out of the top 10s. We'll see how their matches take on in the WTA. But that is all from me on Sports Day.
So speaking about, I think Paolini too is still in there. I like to call her my Ghanaian Italian sister. Paolini is still there, and I think after Roland Garros, she was pushed up to about 7th in the world ranking. So I think about 3 of them, apart from, I think Ostapenko, Rybakina.
17th, yeah.
Pauline is now, she was 12th at the ranking, RAS ranking at Roland Garros was 12th. After Roland Garros, she had moved up to 7th, thereabouts. So I think there's 3 of them, that are in the first 10 rankings that are still there. You could also, check. I don't know, maybe another thing has happened to Pauline, but for all of them, like I said, I have a very strong bias for Paulini. So I'm always constantly rooting for Paulini. And it's a Wimbledon when a lot of the mighty have been falling, and they've been falling down the ranks, and it's very sad for them. I mean, look at what happened to Coco Gauff. Even look at what happened to Alcaraz. Alcaraz was just saved, by the whiskers, because it was a very tough game he had, his last game leading up to this time. So let's say I pass it. And the booing events, where Djokovic said they booed him. They said, maybe they were cheering for Holger Rune. And he was like, no, they were booing me, so they should have a good night. And he said he knows what he has said. I think it's just about the pressure. He's been through a lot of pressure. So if they were cheering for the other athlete, definitely he feels sad about it. But he has an axe to grind with this one. He probably can go all the way, to be able to win things. And like you said, maybe I think the people that are saying France has not played at all, they are correct too. I don't know why Didier Deschamps is not being realistic. I think one question I'd like to ask Didier Deschamps, was this how the French team that won the World Cup in 1999 was playing? That he played it with Emmanuel Petit and other people? This French team is lackluster. You should hear the truth now before Spain beats them.
On the French team, Le Bleu, it's interesting to see that on the political front, they're being celebrated by many in France. And we all know that France's slogan is l'égalité, what is it? Liberté, égalité, fraternité. They've now changed it to Liberté, égalité, Mbappé, because the French, many of the French players, of course, we all know that many of them are immigrants or children of immigrants, and they spoke out when it looked like the right or the far right was going to win in the election, and they encouraged people to come out and ensure that the far right didn't win. So because they didn't win, a lot of people are saying thank you to the star power of Le Bleu for adding their voices to that conversation. To Djokovic, because Djokovic is my brother. He doesn't know his sister yet, but one day we will meet. And Djokovic is just always such a controversial guy. When I watched the video of him wishing them a good night and talking about the fact that he felt that it was disrespectful what happened, and I believe the umpire tried to correct and say, no, it wasn't disrespectful. He stood his ground. It reminded me of what happened during COVID, post-COVID times, when he said, no, he's not going to travel to Australia. He's not getting a COVID vaccine. That's Djokovic for you. He's a man who stands on business. He stands on principle. And once he's made up his mind about something, he sticks with it. So hopefully, we won't see any more of that kind of raucous behavior around the games at Wimbledon.
Okay, on Djokovic, his relationship at Wimbledon with the fans has not always been serene. This is not the first time that you'll be booed, at Wimbledon. And that was why he was saying during the post-match interview that, look, he's been in this game, he's been playing at Wimbledon for 20 years, and he understands the behavior of the spectators. But it didn't stop him from winning and triumphing over the gentleman Rooney, that they were hailing. After all, he won the match, the 4th round match, 6-3, 6-4, 6-2. So I think winning is what matters at the end of the day, as he pursues his dream of matching the 8th title at Wimbledon, so that he can match the existing record. But I wanted to ask you about the controversial match that England is going to have tomorrow. England versus the Netherlands. And Jude Bellingham, has been brought into the story. The coach, the referee that has been chosen, that referee had issues with match fixing, had issues with his suspension in 2021. Jude Bellingham in 2021 was in fact fined £43,000 for raising questions about the choice of that particular referee, Felix Zweier. But I don't know whether UEFA is going to take all the complaints by the English fans into consideration. But in this match, Euro semi-finals, well, England and the Netherlands, they're not particularly fantastic. It looks like at the end of the day, it's going to be between France and Spain. My own prediction is that whoever wins today between France and Spain is likely to take the title for 2024. France has won, a few times. Spain 4 times. England has never won the European Championship. But who, in your opinion, do you think stands a better chance?
Dr. Abati, for the 4 teams in the semi-finals already, France has done exceptionally well. Rather, Spain has done exceptionally well. They have young stars, a nice blend. But going into the semi-finals as well, they are going to be missing Dani Carvajal and also Lenormand, who stood so strong for them in defense. What I would like it to know is France are not getting in goals, but they have a very tight defensive side and style. But I think Spain might just triumph. But for the Netherlands and England, it might just be another underwhelming game, except both sides decide to step up. We have so many good players in England, but we've not seen a lot of their potential, except probably Bukayo Saka and sometimes a little glimmer of hope from Jude Bellingham. But all in all, I think, like you rightfully said, the team that wins today's semi-final could probably go all the way, be it Spain or France, but both teams seem stronger than England or Netherlands. But English fans will be hoping and praying that they lay their hands on a trophy. They've not won a trophy since the 1960s, so they will want to get a trophy this time out.
Okay, we'll see. The Falcons, who are going to be at the Olympics, the Super Falcons, some of them have not been able to obtain their visas.
Yeah.
In typical Nigerian fashion, you guys had to leave it till the very last minute. And we have 12 players there out of 18. Let's hope that your friends at the Athletics Federation will sort it out. Thank you very much, Ebi.